Hey, Soul Warriors. Mercury retrograde gets a bad rap. It's infamous for being blamed for your text going unanswered or your coffee spilling. But what if you've been looking at it all wrong? Instead of falling into the low vibrational trap of complaining and excuse making, Mercury retrograde can actually be an incredibly productive period if you understand how to work with its energies instead of against it. So let's stop blaming the planets and start owning our birthright. I know I've fallen into the trap of that in the past and gotten on the stupid hype train of, oh, it's Mercury retrograde. It's fault. And once I got deeper into myself and realized, like, why am I commiserating with all these people? Why am I blaming a planet? Never mind when I found out the science behind it, retrograde means something's going backwards. And this is why in astrology, they'll tell you there's miscommunications happening or tech issues, glitches happening and all this stuff because the planet's going backward. Science tells you it's an illusion. It's not really going backward. You know, when you're sitting in your car and a car starts moving next to you and you feel like your car's moving and you're like, oh, you have that moment. That's what it looks like when you're looking at Mercury. It's retrograde looking because the planets are moving at different speeds. So it's just perception from where we're standing and not a real thing that's happening.
But it's so much fun to play.
It is. It's fun to not take responsibility.
Right?
And then
we're just so like into the outward reasons as to why we are the way we are or how we act or anything like that. Instead of taking responsibility, it's just that much easier to just say, it's Mercury retrograde. So, of course, my coffee spilled. Of course, I'm in a mood. Right. Of course, nothing's working out. But understand that you are sitting in that vibration. Self-fulfilling prophecies are happening instantly because you're sitting in there so deeply.
Yeah. Oh, it's retrograde. Everything's going to go to shit now.
Yep.
Oh, see.
Things are going to go to shit. Period. That's just the way it works. It all lands into what energy you're putting out. So we're in the middle of Mercury retrograde and you decide energetically you're going to be on point. I guarantee you that none of that bullshit will come into play because you're sitting in balanced energy, in positive energy, in the kind of energy that serves you, not the one that kind of holds you back.
Exactly. So what you focus on, we all know that where our attention goes, that's what grows. Yeah. So what are you intending during these periods? I mean, they happen 3, sometimes 4 times a year. This is like your trigger. This is like to say, oh, this is a time where I should be slowing down. I should be moving at a different pace. I should be looking at, what's presenting itself. What's clocking me right now? Is my ego clocking my soul-led place? Am I going too fast? I need to slow down so I can, manifest what I want to manifest and really live on purpose and in purpose. Like, these are all things that you have control of. When you take it back inside and stop the finger pointing, that's when your life changes.
That's so true. I mean, it's kind of like it's giving you the opportunity to sit in the eye of the storm where it's the most calm and the most balanced. Yeah. But it gives you the opportunity to do the things that really matter to you. That pause, that reflection, that connection, the ability to hear your soul in such a way that it's unmistakable, if you will. So take that kind of energy and put that on the table.
Right. If you can shift into the perspective that things are happening for you instead of them happening to you, totally different energy. Right. That's you standing in your power. All these other things, this making fun of it and this complaining and blaming about it, is giving your power away. Mercury retrograde has power over my entire life, several months every year, and there's nothing I can do about it. Total powerlessness. I don't want to participate in that.
And it's not true. Really, when it comes down to it, it just isn't true. That's you deciding at that point that your power is outside of you. And you're going to just like, well, whatever, it's Mercury's retrograde and shit's going to happen and blah, blah, blah. And you find yourself in a place of frustration, disappointment, overwhelm, you name it, because you've decided that because it's retrograde, shit's just gonna go south.
Yep. So it's this repeating cycle of like, oh, everything's going great. Oh, retrograde, now it's going to go shit.
Right.
Oh, yeah, see, there it did. Okay. Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah. You have control. It, do the planetary alignments matter?
Yes.
Yes, because there's a certain frequency that is now going out that wasn't going out before. But if we utilize those as tools to grow, to shift, to amplify, to create, to manifest, versus my coffee just spilled, my computer isn't working, blah blah blah. You see where the difference happens? Because you want to stay in the good high vibrations during these times. That's what they're there for. Actually, not to create havoc.
Yeah, they're not there just there to screw you up and ruin your life.
It's too easy to blame it.
It is way too easy. It's a cop out.
Yeah.
And so your power is you having the ability to apply meaning to things in your life. So if you want to accept this pop culture, pop spiritual definition of blame it on the retrograde, if that works for you and you're fine with it and you like your life going in those cycles, that's fine. Like, do you, boo? It doesn't matter. Like, each of us do our own thing. But if you want to really harness this energy, like if you know that a lot of times I'll hear astrologers say, don't sign any contracts during this time, or like new communications, might be a little wonky. Take the time to tie up loose ends. Right. What needs to be cleaned up? What needs to be removed out of my way? So when the energy is different and it's go time and I'm back into flow here, wow, then my path is clear. So I'm going to take this time to clear the clutter, not add to it.
You know what the funny thing is that, this time is all about communication.
Yep.
It amplifies that. So
exactly.
Instead of like, oh my God, my communication sucks, or whatever it is that you're telling yourself during these times, communication is the key here, because you're able to connect in such a way, especially connecting to your knowing, to your future self, to your higher self, to spirit, to all the things that work in your life, that actually manifest things that you want. That's what communication is so important during the Mercury retrograde. But most of us don't even look at it that way.
No, we don't.
It's like, no, I'm just going to stay quiet because people are going to misunderstand what I'm saying. No, when you're talking and you're talking from an authentic place, those that don't understand are not on the same vibration. And that's okay. They will move along.
Yeah, and they're just getting exposed to that vibration, and at some point they'll like, oh yeah, I remember this person, or maybe not, but they said something that rang in their head, but they didn't know why, and then they'll be able to grab onto that vibration.
Right.
Like, you don't know. When something just clicks, it clicks. When it doesn't, that's fine. Take what's for you, discern the rest.
Exactly.
This is not a once and done, like, oh, everybody says Mercury retrogrades, everything goes to shit, so it is. And so it is. And then we're all going to complain about what we all decided so it is.
So I'm going to challenge you all to stop blaming
anything
Mercury retrograde. Start taking personal responsibility, what you're saying, how you're acting, how you're reacting, and go from there. And be deliberate about the energies that you want to tap into.
Right. And if you start catching yourself, like, use Mercury retrograde as an awesome tool to gain more awareness and realize your habits and realize what programmed things you've just fallen into. There's so many spiritual things that I hear that, like, this is the magic pill and this is the one technique that's going to fix everything. It's all bullshit. What fixes you is what you choose is powerful to you and matches your energy. That's why we're here, just to be real, to walk with you, to be authentic in our power, and to see you in yours even when you can't.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I realized that we've been in Mercury retrograde since April 1st, and it's ending on
a few days from now,
25th. And I can honestly say that I have not seen any energetic difference in my shit. I didn't go through that tragic energy because I wasn't even concerned the fact that we were in Mercury retrograde.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to anymore because it just seems like, oh, here comes the spiritual hype train about,
Right.
we're building up to it. Now we're in it. We're all complaining. Now we're like, oh, now I have to dig out from it. And then, oh, here it comes again. Like I stopped. I just started ignoring that. I started treating it as a joke. And then I'm like, I don't even want to joke about it because I don't want to give that energy. What can I do with it? So I've noticed for myself in the last, 3 or plus weeks that it's been going on, that a lot has shifted for me, but it hasn't been the things that have gone to shit are stuff that are like old parts of me that are falling away and stuff that I don't need anymore. If something feels like too much of a struggle for me, I know there's some alignment that's not quite there. There's some misalignment going on or some frequency that's not happening. So is that thing not my frequency, or am I not vibrating where I really want to be? And that's why this isn't working. So I can now look at all those things. I've shifted myself and up-leveled myself so much personally and stepped into a new identity. I've done all these things, tapping into my future self. Like we'll tag the future self exercise up above us. It's super powerful. That came out yesterday. Like all these things, really good, juicy things that have moved my dial immensely have been happening for me in the last 3 weeks.
Right, exactly. And it's been the same for me. I mean, I've spent this past week sick, but sick in a different way. And then I'm noticing, before, if I get a cold or whatever, it knocks me on my ass. And it's like, I'm in this new me.
Yeah.
If you will. Like I'm still feeling crappy, but I'm still functioning. Like my physical body still is able to do the things that it's supposed to do, a little tired and things like that, but it's just a different way of being sick.
Yeah.
And, I attribute that to all the work that I've been doing,
listening to your body,
listening to my body,
caring.
listening, connecting to higher vibrations and staying really in my middle ground, in my power, in my being. And it has shown me this week how awesome it can be, and how it shifts energy in your body and your mind. It's just amazing. And that's how it works. So if I'm like, oh my God, I'm just dying, I'm sick, I'm this and that, then I would have been laying in bed for the past week. Absolutely would have been in bed that way. But I'm like, no, I'm going to listen to what it needs and I'm going to move forward in that way.
And in those quiet spaces, because I got, as you were tail ending it, I got a little bit of it. Those quiet spaces when you're listening to your body and taking that downtime are so fertile, so creative. So like, it's such a juicy space. Not that I like, not feeling well,
Right.
but it just, if you don't give your body what it needs, it will force you to take that moment and really sit with yourself.
Absolutely.
So this is an energy. Yes, it is here right now. You can choose to use it as you want. You can choose to make it a struggle. Get on that struggle bus if you want and, chug right along. Good for you. And, if you want to step off the bus, you can at any time. Please start questioning everything. If it feels true to you and somebody's just being real, like, we don't get all like, I'm in a hoodie, my hair's all messy. Like we're just here showing up, being us, talking about what we're experiencing.
Yeah, and hopefully providing value to you guys because, it's about mirroring in this world. It's not about teaching so much as it is mirroring, and seeing the brilliance in other people, seeing the capability, the ability, the love, the authenticity of a person. It's such a brilliant thing, and I am so honored to be able to sit here and be witness of that.
You and me both.
Not for just myself and you, as a unit, but with all of you guys. So yeah, I mean, jump on the bandwagon when it comes to that
Yeah.
high vibration and being balanced and being awesome and being the best fucking you can be, man.
Absolutely. Because when you start thinking for yourself and knowing for yourself, and you really know what's true for you, not just what you've read and what you've heard, like check in with your internal spiritual operating system. Like, does that resonate with me? How can I utilize that? I don't like the denseness of that. Energy is our playground.
Yeah.
We get to manipulate it however we want. Again, we get to be on the struggle bus, or we get to be creative and powerful and have fun in this playground while we are here as much as we can.
Absolutely.
So Mercury retrograde, I call bullshit on a lot of the stuff.
Calling it.
That is out there. Let's get real with it and let's get responsible and let's step into our greatness. Our birthright is so amazing, and I don't want to waste the short time we have on this planet doing anything else.
Sounds good to me. Be kind.
Peace.